And we are live. Welcome, everyone watching this as we speak. Be sure to join the conversation with us as well. Send us questions, of course. Let us know your thoughts. And of course, greetings to everyone watching this at a later date as well on YouTube, most likely. Today is Tuesday, 18th of March. Eurovision is less than 2 months away. And as the final song of the class of 2025 was released only a few days ago, I think it's about time to make some early predictions that surely will age extremely well. But before we begin, a quick round of introductions, which we surely don't need. But anyway, just in case, let's go through our panel for today. I'm joined by, first of all, on this side, Mr. Livestream Maestro himself.
Good evening, everyone. Tele-vote. I'm Sean, the there's YouTube channel full time with extra hours, and I'm from Malta.
And below Sean.
Hello, it's Jude from Eurovision with Jude Kennedy. You may remember me from, like, I don't know, September. I'm here too. I'm from Northern Ireland.
All right, and here is Mr.
Max. I'm from France and I'm a Eurovision reactor and also on TikTok and Instagram at It's Maxe Vision. I like to create some fun content as always on Eurovision.
Fantastic. And I'm Epic's Eurovision guy from Estonia. So we are quite well covered in terms of Europe. We have someone from northeastern part. We have someone from the British Isles. We have kind of central western Europe. And then we have Malta from God knows where. How is the weather there, by the way? Is it already summer?
It was yesterday. Today it got windy and cloudy again, but that's March here, unpredictable.
Well, let's hope that summer is coming soon, which will, of course, mark the start of the real Eurovision contest as well. And to start our discussion today, my opening question to you all would be, what are your overall impressions of the year 2025? And the big question, is it a weak year? Sean, would you like to start?
If you want me to, of course. I think rotating on a bit of a calendar when we always have a strong year, a mid-year, and a weak year. And then we start again. And I feel like this is actually a mid-year, which will be bad news to fans who think this is terrible, because brace yourselves, we might have it even worse next year. So I think this is a mid-year, but I think it feels weaker because there is a particular lack of originality, in my opinion. Whereas last year we had quite some original offerings, this year, for me, the originality stops at around 3 or 4 songs. Whereas last year, even if you don't like some songs, you can't deny that they were pretty show-stopping and original. For example, I know Gerd and I did not like Ireland quite, and that was quite well documented, but you can't say that wasn't pretty epic. And I think this year we have that lack of unanimous like it.
Sean is back. Wonderful. We missed a few words, but we got the gist of it. Simple Things believes that it's a unanimous yes, and it can't get any worse. Jude, do you agree with Sean or Simple Things?
I think if we go off based off solely my opinion, which is obviously the law, guys, of course, for me, everything's kind of squished into a very middle ground. I agree with Sean completely that it does seem to be a mid-year. I was kind of thinking, yeah, weak, but actually, I don't actually avidly dislike any of the songs. There's 2 songs I'm like, I hate that. There's a couple of songs I might skip, every now and again. And there's very few songs that I absolutely love, as opposed to like having one or two stand songs that like way go at the top. So I agree with the fact that it's kind of mid-ground, lack of originality. There's nothing that's kind of, for me, polarizing. It's all just kind of, yeah, I'd listen to that, or I wouldn't listen to that. And kind of, yeah, in the middle. Also, Hedgie's comment,
Max?
yes.
I'm gonna say that it's not the best year, I think. But in the same time, there is country that usually not do good that could have the opportunity to do good this year because all the rest are not as their best potential. So let's see.
Yeah, I kind of agree with, well, Shaun and all of you. Like, it's definitely not the worst Eurovision we've ever had, but at the same time, I would say that the previous 4 or 5 years were quite a bit stronger. I think the overall level this year is maybe not as good. We have quite a few songs, quite a lot of songs. Actually, I would say pretty much half of the songs which are like, yeah, it is a song. That's not really what we want to see in Eurovision, but definitely can always be worse. We have a few comments here as well. Hello, Kert Pihelgas. Hello, David. Jude Kennedy is always also watching. Hello to Jude Kennedy.
Because I'm everywhere.
And Shaun, you must know this guy, right?
Oh,
Evan,
do
hello
I?
to you as well.
Irvin.
Yeah, you told many things last year, Irvin, and I agreed with none of them. So I'm glad to have you here.
Can we pin a little bit of a cross promotion? If you guys like to see Irvin and Garrett disagree, brace yourselves because those live streams are coming back starting April 2nd.
That's every Wednesday, right?
That's every Wednesday, all of April.
Fantastic. So a lot of controversial opinions from the both of us coming for sure.
Lots of blood
We will
between Irvin and Garrett coming.
It will be interesting. That is for sure. David thinks that it is a bit weaker as there are 5 best songs. Okay, so I think he means that a fewer amount of songs this year are competing for the victory. And Simple Things believes that UK, it's not your year. I can tell you that for sure. And Irvin, yes, we'll get there. We'll get there. But before we do, I want to discuss something that more or less does have an impact on the countries that could or could not qualify to the final. That is, of course, the running order. Let's start with semi-final 1. Who do we think could open the semi-final?
Oh, I forgot my notebook in the other room.
While Shaun catches his notebook,
Can I actually go get my
Max,
notebook?
how can you be without your notebook? Why aren't you already on your way?
Give me 10 seconds.
There goes Shaun. So bye-bye, Shaun. Max, what do you think? Who would you place as the opener of the Eurovision season?
Well, I have my notebook, not like Shaun, and I'm gonna say Sweden maybe because it's gonna be really fun to open with this one, really catchy. And yes, it's gonna be a sauna party to begin the night, and I can enjoy this possibility here. And to close the story, or
we'll get to the closers as well.
Okay.
But do you think it's actually possible for Sweden to open? It is the favorite right now, and as we've typically seen, they tend to be much later in their respective half.
It's their time to open. I'm really worried about Sweden being always in the good place or at the end of the night. So let's open the night and they will still qualify for sure.
All right. Sean, you have your notebook now. Who's written as the number one?
So I always do two running orders for each semi. One of them is how I would do it, and the other one is how I think they would do it. And I typically think the EBU is more boring than me when it comes to running orders. So I caught a little bit of what Max said about Sweden. And I have to admit, I wouldn't open with Sweden, Max. I would not. I think Sweden is one of the strongest songs in the semifinal, and I would not have one of the strongest songs opening. So I would actually start with Iceland. I think it's a very opening kind of song, but at the same time, it draws a lot of expectancy as to what people expect from, the typical Eurovision song, and it eases viewers smoothly. But I think they are going to open with Estonia. And we've seen it in the past where the one of the most viral songs all across the non-fan community gets to start the show because you want to draw people in with the little that they know. It happened with Alessandra and Queen of the Kings. And I don't think there was an example last year, but I can see it happening with Espresso Macchiato this year.
Sean, I completely agree. What a shocker. I think it has to be either Iceland or Estonia. But considering that Espresso Macchiato is in English, and they tend to prefer songs in English, it is upbeat. It is, some would say otherwise, but not a horrible song. At least if we look at the running orders, it actually has a chance of going through. Iceland does as well.
Chance.
But
Espresso Macchiato has more than a chance of going through.
True. So considering all of that, I think it's pretty safe to assume Espresso Macchiato and Estonia will open the semi-final. Jude, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not going to say any other countries realistically. Like, could you imagine Slovenia being opening semi-final one? No. I was thinking Iceland. I feel like it has that kind of just like grips you. Now, I'm still curious to see how they pull it off live, but yeah. So I don't know how that fits with me opening in their vocals, but Sweden is so safe. It's such a safe qualifier. They don't need to be put at the end of, the first half to qualify. They will qualify no matter what. So they're so safe to open and still qualify and not, jeopardize Sweden's chances. It's fine. I don't know about Estonia opening. I just can't see it. I feel like, we know he's going to have an excellent stage performance. And I'm just wondering, are they going to keep that? Or are they going to keep you waiting for it? Or are they going to just kind of put it out of the way immediately?
Interesting thoughts. 3 countries
I have a
that we
question
mentioned.
for Gerd about Estonia.
Yes.
Because last year, Estonia literally showed up on stage with 50 cents and a sandwich. But this year we've got Tommy Cash. And he must have some sort of budget. What are we hearing on the streets of Tallinn about staging and budget and I don't know?
Budget-wise, I'm pretty sure that the public broadcaster has probably the same amount or even less. The only question is how much can Tommy put in?
Yeah.
But I think for now, from what I've heard, it's pretty safe to assume that the staging will have a similar concept. He'll still have the security guard dancers. He'll still do the spaghetti dance, whatever it is. So for the most part, I would expect something very similar, just perhaps a little bit more polished and suitable for Eurovision, but I wouldn't expect any massive changes. So if you didn't like his performance in Eesti, most likely you won't like his performance in Eurovision either.
Here's the thing. I didn't like his performance at Eesti, but the music video that they dropped 2 days ago was amazing. The choreography was better. The visuals were better. Even the split suit. I thought it just looked so much more branded almost, like it's the Tommy experience paired with the espresso macchiato viral theme. I think if they graduate from SCLR performance, which in my opinion was terrible, to the music video, I think Estonia is a safe top 10. Safe.
We'll get there. But for
get
now, let's continue with the running order. And Jude, would you like to start with your prediction / opinion on who should close the semi-final one?
I think closing the semi-final one's hard. It's like there's certain songs I'm like I'd love Albania to close. Please, just do it. Give them a really good spot and a really good chance. I can't see them doing that though. I think it'll be Norway. I think they have enough trust in Norway to be like lighter, send them out in a high, boom. But I just want Albania to close.
I think that Sean agrees.
I want Albania to close. In semi one, my running order, Albania is number 15. But I think they might close with San Marino. I could totally see San Marino closing. I think Norway. I guess I'm touching on taste theory and who I like and who I don't like here. But I don't know about you guys, but I don't think Norway is a safe qualifier. And it's not the first time we've seen non-safe qualifiers close the show, yes. But I think San Marino's more of a surefire close than Norway. If the EBU wants to play it safe, which they will, and Eurovision is happening in Switzerland, so I think it makes more sense. But I can see Norway closing as well. I just don't think it's as safe as it usually typically is.
Interesting. Max?
Well, I think about Estonia actually to close the show, but I could
It's in
switch
the first half.
But I think also about Albania. I was hesitating between these two. I would love to see Albania closing the show to be sure that they will be really high at the end and maybe win this semi-final. That's it.
I think for sure they have a lot more options for closing the semi than opening the semi. When looking at the list of countries in the second half, San Marino, Norway, I think Netherlands might actually close as well. That's maybe one option. Cyprus depends what they bring. I doubt it, but could perhaps be on their list. I don't think it's going to be Azerbaijan or Belgium, and I don't really see Albania being the one that EBU picks as well. So mostly I am kind of picking between Norway and the Netherlands. We have some comments about possible openers. David thinks Estonia is upbeat. They do need a great start. George doesn't really find any good openers from the first half of the first semi-final. And
come on, George. Half of the population in the world literally starts their day with coffee. What more do you want?
Maybe he's not a coffee drinker. We don't know that.
Neither am I. But...
And Simple Things believes that Albania should be the one closing. And George, Netherlands, Norway, or San Marino for the end. Let's move on to the second semi-final. Sean, who should open?
I think, well, I have the same country opening on both of my lists. And I can see Armenia doing it. I think they're going to open with Armenia, yeah. This song reminds me of Walking Out, Serbuk. It's got that... I have to be careful what I say now because someone clearly likes it. but it's got that forceful nature to it that reminds me a little bit of theater, and it could actually open with a bang. And like him or not, Parge actually has so much confidence, probably more than he needs to open the show. Even if there's a power cut in Basel, he will open the show and he will do it right. I think it's a safe pick, Armenia, and I don't think that Armenia is going to trouble the top 10 in any scenario of the semifinal.
All right. Armenia wasn't on my cards for the opener for sure, but it's an interesting pick. Jude, you seem to agree, but who is your pick?
Yeah, I did not. I never thought about Armenia at all. I don't know what I know. There's still revamps in process there. It didn't grip me in Debbie Vratasil at all, which is so rare for me because I'm such an Armenia stan. But I think maybe it's just me being me. It might be Ireland. I think it's just so friendly and such like a let's like a party in the sky. Let's go. Let's bring you in. It's Emmy. She is a performer. We've seen what she's done before. It's such an easy way in, I think. And maybe it doesn't hit you as hard as something like Survivor would, but I feel like Ireland could do it. RIP to the qualification chances, but anyway.
I do think Ireland could do it as well, yeah. It's not a crazy
I think Ireland is the only option. It ticks all the boxes that EBU likes for the opener. It's fun, it is upbeat, it is very children friendly. David believes it could be Australia. I think that's one point. It is not under 18 friendly, and the EBU will definitely not go for that one. Senwa believes that Ireland is too childish to open, but I think that's only an extra reason for the EBU to start with that one. But Max, what do you think?
I was hesitating between Ireland because it's kind of cute to begin, I think, with this one. Oh, well, Australia, but clearly it seems that it's not the good one. Even like a cute ice cream man, that could be cool to open tonight, but it doesn't seem ready to do that.
All right. Senwa thinks Estonia will open semi-1, Norway to close. He is also in the opinion that Armenia could open semi-2 and Malta to close. Malta, could it close the semi-final? Sean?
I don't think so. I think here's the thing. Every 4 years at Eurovision, we get someone who closes the semi-final that doesn't qualify. And if the pattern continues from 2009, this year, we're going to get a country that doesn't qualify who closes the show. In 2009, it was the Toppers. In 2013, it was Moje3. In 2017, it was Triana Park. And in 2021, because we skipped 2020, it was Fear of Flamme. So this year, it's the turn for someone to not qualify. If the pattern is to be broken, because I am not Nostradamus, I think the obvious closer is Finland. Hands down. That song is the song that will close the Erika Wickman concert, and it should rightfully close the Eurovision semi-final. But then, if the EBU want to be a little bit daring, this is a wild guess. But I could see Czechia closing.
Jude.
I could see Czechia closing.
Yeah. I that's what I thought, because I originally thought, right, Malta or Finland are kind of the choices that you go like, yeah. But I think with just the kind of bit of friction that's been there recently between those two countries and the EBU, surrounding their acts, I don't know if they'll be so willing to put them in such a good position just off, being like, I think Czechia might be the one, because the EBU wants to keep Czechia in right now, every year we're like, are Czechia going to come back? Are they going to do it? And this year they have such a good song. Like Kiss Kiss Goodbye is literally my number 2 this year. I think an Adonis has the stage, presence. With that dance break coming at the end, he has the opportunity to really close it with a bang. And I think that works.
Before we continue, I thought we could delay this for some future live streams, but no, Irvin, I disagree. Let's continue. Let's continue.
I see this comment about Denmark closing. I thought about it today. Yeah, I could see Denmark closing. I could see Denmark, especially if the pattern needs to live on.
No, Sissel cannot non-qualify. She better get through.
I love the song. I'm not gonna lie. I really like the song. I think it's Denmark's best song since the last time that they did not qualify in closing a semi. But it's a stacked semi. Like even if it's a mid-year, semi-final to second half, I think is actually pretty difficult.
I do agree with you about semi-final to second half, but I think overall semi-final 2 is extremely weak, much weaker than semi-final 1. And for me, it's difficult to pick the ones going through because there are so many that I would not put through. Everyone else seems to disagree.
Take a bite of my poison cake.
But for me, I think possible closers, I doubt they will end with Malta. It's maybe not the final note that they want to leave in that regard. If they want to put something in kind of the similar genre or message, Finland would be a much safer pick. But I also wouldn't rule out Denmark. I actually also wouldn't completely rule out Luxembourg. But I think it's
yes.
I think it's a little bit unlikely. Yeah,
I mean,
it
would
seems
be a
that
good
everyone
closer.
disagrees with me.
I think it would be a good closer, Luxembourg. But
I think
But
so.
it's so forgettable.
Again, is it?
I like the only reason I can remember the song is because I listened to the revamp this morning.
There's a revamp.
Yeah, they should change like the
Oh.
track for like 2 seconds.
I need to press
Honestly,
my
I
It's not
listened
the
to
same
it,
as
but I
last year's
forgot
revamp.
about it because it's like the same song. I can barely hear any difference. Like at one point, the beat was slightly modified, but it's basically the same thing.
That's
so, can we really call it a revamp? It's just
no.
It's the same. It's the same.
Unfortunately, we got way too much of a revamp from songs that didn't need to revamp, and we got no revamp from maybe songs that needed to this year. So I don't know if it's a theme in your table of contents, Mr. Gerd, but I guess I teased a little bit there.
I think we all know who we're talking about. Senwa, Czechia closes and shock non-qualifier if the pattern continues. And Czechia or Finland to close. Bad staging, it could flop like Belgium 2024. I can see it happen, honestly. Senwa doesn't see Luxembourg qualifying. But overall, I think we can continue. Running order, tick that box. That has been discussed.
Can I put my notebook away?
I don't know what else is there.
Absolutely nothing.
Then I think you can put it away. Let's talk a little bit about the current odds. And this is a pretty open field, but mainly, first of all, I would like to ask, which countries do you think are criminally underrated in the current odds, who could do or should do much better than the bookmakers currently predict? Here is the current, or well, from this morning list of the bottom 17. Montenegro at the bottom and Ireland climbing, but not quite in the top 20 yet. What do we think, Sean?
Serbia. Easy.
Really?
Get your screen recorders out. You heard it here first. Serbia's qualifying.
Max, I saw you nod for a second.
I kind of agree. I wrote Serbia too because it's the only type of old, I'm gonna say classical type of ballad we've got from this semi-final, and I think it's gonna stand out because of this fact. And even if I don't want it to qualify, I think it's surely gonna qualify.
Yeah, I literally made my mom listen to the songs, and I think we played Australia, Finland, Serbia, and then obviously Malta. And she, imagine the running order comes Finland, Serbia, Malta, or Malta, Serbia, Finland. That traditional, honest song, which is not trying to make anyone have an orgasm, which is not trying to talk about anyone having sex, and just has a good-looking guy singing a song about his dear Mila, I think that is going to actually draw a lot of the votes that maybe Slimon drew last year. It's an honest, traditional, simple, unpretentious song. And it to make it even better, I think it's very close to what people usually expect from Serbia. A bit of a Balkan ballad. You might call it dated. I call it traditional. Yeah. I can't stop. I'm playing the Serbian song right now.
Well, I have to, since it's kind of a main topic at the moment. I don't see Serbia qualifying. I think it's absolutely, it's just boring. And the staging doesn't make any sense. There's nothing exciting about it. It's an old, dated Balkan ballad. And I see no chance as we stand.
It's fine. You're Estonian.
That is true. Jude is not.
I am very much not, and yeah, Serbia is my last this year.
Jude!
I just sorry, I just can't. I don't know. Every time it comes on, I'm sitting there with the playlist on at work, it just comes on and I'm like, skip. It's light speed reactions. I'm like, no, it's no, not the vibe. And I'll listen to other songs that are very, ballad core, but will I listen to Serbia? No, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I just cannot get it at all.
So I'm gonna ask now because I'm curious. Then, do you like Montenegro?
More than Serbia.
Because I
but
love
it's also pretty
Montenegro
low
as well. But I guess it makes.
I love parts.
I don't know. I don't want to I personally love both. I like Serbia more, but I feel like most people who like Serbia like Montenegro, and most people who don't like Serbia don't like Montenegro. For example, I know just by looking at him that Eston doesn't like neither Montenegro nor Serbia, right?
That is correct. How did you know?
Friends forever.
See, I can get behind a Balkan ballad if there's some. I need to word this very carefully. There needs to be some kind of interesting element there that isn't typical of what we assume to be a Balkan ballad to kind of bring me that freshness. And I'm missing that in both of them. It just, they're too Balkan ballad, but we're sticking with so tight Balkan balladness. I just need something slightly different.
Yeah, you need a modern.
There is
Balkan
one.
ballad.
Yeah. Sorry, Irvin. Sorry.
That's fair.
Irvin, I disagree. Let's move on. Do we have?
Can I just say something quickly about Serbia because I have to, fight for my Balkan friends. I feel like a lot of people who don't like this song have been consumed by the disgusting fake rumors and manipulations that have been going on Twitter by people who are harem girls stands, and we know how Twitter works, that when some Euro fans don't get the song that they wanted in their national final, they will literally make the craziest, most defamatory stories on Twitter. And for some reason, people have latched onto this about Prince. Prince is a lovely guy. He's literally, I was in Serbia this year in Pizze, and I just wanted a photo with him. He gave me a photo and he told me, "Hey, I saw your reaction. Thank you for being so nice to me." And I literally turned to my other friend. I'm like, is he lying? I couldn't believe it. So don't believe everything you see on Twitter. It worked for Cheryl Cole. It won't work for Prince.
Truth spoken. But do we have any other countries in the bottom 17 in the odds or close to that that you think will do much better?
I know we talked about Montenegro. I think Montenegro won't be that low.
Montenegro or Albania are always last in the odds, though. That's just, I feel like, a fact of every season. But it's, I guess it's because the odds are who is going to be number one. That's what they are. And we know that neither of them are going to win, usually. So I just, when I look at them this early on, the whole odds, I just can't, I don't care enough to base anything off them yet. If that makes sense. It's just, it's kind of just like a list of songs. It's like someone's top that I'll watch and skim through and be like, yeah. It's hard for me to actually take anything they're saying seriously until you get to maybe like the top 5.
It's true. It's true. I can't wait for the semi-final odds actually to come out, because those are usually more telling of where we're gonna have the competition staring. But just for the sake of the conversation, I think Latvia's really, really low. I think Latvia is at the safest qualification potential that they have ever been since 2017, I guess, because everyone thought they were going to qualify.
If they can recreate the staging that they had in Supernova. Done. Straight in. Into the final. Yeah. It was so beautiful. Good.
It was perfect.
And the song is also so good. Like,
yeah, I agree, Jude. Yeah.
Actually, for me, there's quite a few that I see near the bottom that I think could do much better. To start, 36th Iceland. I think they have a much better chance at qualifying than people think. It's really fun, and it's fun when they kind of laugh at themselves as well. They don't take themselves too seriously. We're kind of in on the joke. It's fun. It's upbeat. It's an Icelandic. It's a bit childish and quirky, but surely there's people who enjoy that as well. And I think I saw a comment about Switzerland as well. I think it could be a dark horse that could do really, really well. I don't really cry when listening to songs, but I did almost shed a tear listening to that. It is absolutely beautiful. And third, definitely not least, but I'm not going to drag it on for much longer, Norway. I think Norway could actually sneak into the top 10. And currently it's not even in the top 20 in the odds. So for me, criminally underrated.
I mean,
I'm just curious to see how Norway works live, because we do have auto-tune in MGP and we don't have auto-tune in Eurovision. And as much as Kyle can sing, he's doing a lot of moving. And I'm just interested to see how that works. If he does it really well, yeah.
He's 18, so we know that young performers typically get very overexcited doing all sorts of press and interviews and singing on the streets of the host city. And then nothing's left for the final night. Emma Muscat, case in point. Andromache, even Mahmoud and Blanco. But I just don't feel it this year with Norway. And there are a lot of songs that I think are in direct competition, coincidentally in the same semifinal and in the same half. Cyprus and Belgium.
Kind of, but I would say they're all still different songs, and probably Norway being the best among them.
I think Norway is the best among them, yeah, in my opinion.
George definitely agrees because it's their number one. Wow.
I love Iceland, by the way. I wanted to say I absolutely love Iceland. I'm obsessed. It's in my top, I think it's in my top 15. I love Iceland. I was really happy
Yes.
they won. Yeah, I think it's really underrated.
Absolutely.
It's underrated,
All
but I
right.
prefer Biomin from last year.
Who?
The Vibe song
that
last
song.
year, or 2 years ago, was it?
Oh.
Biomin.
Last year,
Like,
yeah.
I love that song, and for me, Roa, it just isn't quite there.
If they can get
Roa-
rid of that octopus that comes on the screen, I think it's good to go. I hate that octopus that splashes on my face on the screen. It's so random. Why have that?
Because it is random. In any case, let's talk about the opposite. Who is criminally overrated by the odds? Let's have a quick look at the top 20 as well. In any order, if you have any countries that you'd like to point out are way too high, you have the mic.
Can I say like Austria? Maybe you can kill me for this one, but I absolutely love the last part of the song, of course, but it's not a song I enjoy to listen a lot, to be honest, personally. And I think Reina is seen as a winner. I get that because of the last part of the song, but I'm not convinced that 100% by the beginning and the middle of the song. So I'm a bit surprised to see everyone really enjoying a lot Austria. The vocals are gonna be epic, I understand that, but I'm a bit surprised to see him as a runner-up right now in the odds. That's it. What do you think?
It is a bit high. It is a bit high. But I do think it could win.
Yes.
I do think it could win. For me, I don't understand why the United Kingdom is so high. Like, that song is...
Yes.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know the UK and Ireland typically tend to be high because most of the betting markets are British. I mean, I think Electro Velvet were in the top 10 of the odds back in the day. And there was no way in hell that that song was going to do anything. But the United Kingdom with this song in 13th, come on now. For me, it's the UK and the Ukraine. I don't think the Ukraine is bothering the top 10 this year.
We have some comments as well. Irvin, Netherlands. I would actually say that 2 weeks ago, I would have said agree. Now I'm warming up to the song. So disagree.
We're back in normal territory.
We're back in normal, or at least approaching it. George believes that the UK could do well with the juries. I think their vocals are nice, but perhaps not the song itself. Like
You know
the
what, at least
UK
the
for
UK
me
are
isn't
sending
the
people that can
song.
sing.
Yeah.
What did
The
you
UK
say?
for me isn't the
It's been a
song that
while.
I ever really listened to, but I could see a fantastic musical break of 3 minutes from the UK. If they stage it well, then actually I see the potential of 13th or around the bottom half of top 10. Of course, assuming everything goes absolutely perfectly.
It's the UK. Don't hold your breath.
Israel, France, and Estonia, criminally overrated. And I see another Estonia comment. I do struggle a bit seeing how Estonia could finish in the top 10. I think Sweden will eat up all the public votes, joined by Finland. Israel will, of course, be there in any case. Ukraine will be there no matter what. So I do struggle a little bit, honestly, to see Estonia finishing in the top 10, maybe around 15th, but I don't see top 10 at the
I think
moment.
Estonia is going to get more televote than Ukraine,
Yes.
hands down.
That
And
is
I
a
will say,
bold prediction.
and I'm going to make another one. I'm going to try to listen to me carefully when I say this. I want to be objective and I want to be fair. New Day Will Rise is a great song. New Day Will Rise is a great song. I really think that song is going to get a ton of televotes. Similar to, I mean, I'm not trying to distance myself from what we know, but again, I tend to test the televote with my mom because she is the casual viewer who watches once. She's obsessed. She's like, that's the only, at a point she said, that's the only good song.
We'll see what my mom thinks in a few weeks, but moms are always a good good test. Do we have any other countries here that should be lower?
Max, what do you think about France?
I don't think we're gonna win like the televote or the juries, but with a great combination of the two, we could win the overall thing. That's it. I think jury could definitely. Well, I'm really uncertain, but I think they could allow, because she has like strong vocals and really touching with the emotion and the story behind the song. The televote, I'm always uncertain about how they're gonna react to a French song, but I believe in that, and it's not because I'm French, but I think she's gonna do well, definitely. The song at first really is really emotional, and I think European audience could really understand the story without understanding the language. I think definitely.
I think it's maybe not much weaker, but at least weaker than some of the previous French ballads we've seen. I think last year was much better. Voila, we're even not talking about that. And I kind of agree. I do like Switzerland more than I do like France. I think it's more kind of touching for me. I don't really connect with France as much.
I agree. I don't know. I think France really.
We're split. We're split. This is the right side, and we have those guys there.
It's the France.
Here's the thing. France really needs to stop the PR, because we are getting this PR about it's going to be the biggest song ever at Eurovision Song Contest. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And the only thing that does is set the expectations to a standard where they cannot even be met. So it really harms the release of the song. And I actually think the song is very simple and beautiful. The production is very honest. My problem with it is the progression. The song keeps promising and promising and promising, and the only thing we get is "Mama," and it finishes. And that's my problem with it.
Like the live performance at the stadium, it was too big. It's a thing too big. I think it wasn't the best way to present this song, because it's so intimate what she's talking about that it was like, why are you singing that in a stadium during a rugby game? It doesn't make sense for me. And definitely I don't like actually the live performance to present this type of song, and it doesn't deserve like the story behind that. And I really project myself more with the studio version actually. I know with the vocal she could do a bit more also. It could be much more like this type of speaking French type of singing. I don't know how to describe it perfectly, but she could do much more with the vocals, and it's what's kind of flat while she was singing. I mean, there was some high note, but there wasn't like the emotion I expect from her. So I don't really like the live performance, but I think she could do something much more interesting for Eurovision, and they are already working on that, based on what they say. Like they have like the whole concept apparently about the staging, which is gonna be completely different things, and I kind of trust them for this year, one time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jude, do you have fans in the comments?
Woo! So true. Fans everywhere, guys.
Oh.
My
I
fanship
did-
goes to Luan this year, though. I typically, and people will know this because I ranked Voila very low on my top, I'm not usually a fan of French ballads at all. And this year, with our kind of 3, if you count Claude C'est la vie as being a kind of French ballad, don't like that one. And I'm not a fan of Switzerland either. But this one, I don't know what it is, it gripped me. Specifically, as Max said, the studio version more than the live version. I was like, yep, this is the one. And I so rarely rate France very high. This is the year that it just clicked with me. And I don't know how we're going to see that, across Europe.
We have David thinking that Germany is too high and Senwa thinking that they could do really well. What do we think?
I agree
Personally,
with Senwar.
I can't stand the song. I think it's the most annoying one of the year. She can't even sing, but it's just I can't listen to that song. I can't.
Whoa. I do think it was the wrong song for Aber and Tuna to send from their artistry perspective. I think Vinna 2 would have been the song from their album that they should have sent. Because, Tina can sing. She was very sick actually on the day of the thing. I was following their Instagram very closely. In the morning she was like, guys, I'm not gonna make it. But I think the thing with Baller is it's got that really memorable hook that has been in my head from day one, and I will not be forgetting. Like it's stuck there, staring at like it's so catchy, and I think people will be like, "Wait, that's different. It's catchy. Maybe I'll give it a vote."
Jude, I agree that it's catchy, but I hate that it's catchy. It's the kind of thing I want to get out of my head, but it won't go.
I think as a Eurovision fan, maybe I'm judging Germany as the bar was on the floor. Like the bar was on the floor. This is my favorite German entry, I think, since maybe Cascada. Yeah, it's been so long since I liked the German entry. But what I like about this is that, first of all, Germans typically hate everything that they send. And this is the year that I feel like they hated the least. So when the Germans are getting a little bit behind their song, I think it's a good sign. But also, this is something we see typical from whenever Stefan Raab is behind the German entry. It's something cool. It's something remotely fresh. And I think he tries his best to make sure that no one knows the artist before they actually do Eurovision, so that there is no expectation, kind of opposite to what France does. And I think it works. I'm really like, this is a big grower for me. When I heard it the first time, watching her smash the cello, and she didn't even smash it, I was like, Germany, what can we do? But listening to the song, yeah, I'm streaming it.
I think this is the first time that I've listened to a German entry and went, yes, this is what I would consider to be current German music. Like, in Germany and Austria, they have so many artists. Like, think about Felicia Liu a couple of years ago with Anxiety. This is the kind of thing that people in Germany and Austria are making. This is the kind of music that they're listening to. Apart from, obviously, there's a massive rap influence in Germany, which Eurovision is not yet touching. But this is the kind of thing they do. This is the kind of thing people listen to. And it's, we're finally getting to see that. It's a bit more, not authentic from an emotional point of view, but authentic from a music scene point of view.
I agree, 100%. I really, really do agree. And it's in German. Where was the last time we had a song in German?
That is
Too long
indeed
ago.
fantastic. And Alan, hello, good to see you here. Also, hello to Josse or Jossie. You must have joined us a little bit later because we did actually discuss Norway and its chances to qualify. So scroll back a little bit and you'll find all of our opinions on that. But the last country that I wanted to mention here in this section, I did see 2 comments about it as well, is Lithuania. And personally, I 100% agree. I think that Lithuania will have a serious uphill battle to even make it to the final. I think Lithuania is in serious danger and it might not qualify. What do you guys think?
Couldn't disagree more.
I could see that. It's right. Hear me out. Lithuania and Tavo Akus reminds me of Aya, and not in the like type of song way. I don't, just the vibe surrounding it reminds me of that kind of very like dark indie vibe. And Aya, loved Aya from Latvia. When was that? 2023. And I should have qualified and didn't. I think this is exactly the same kind of situation where it's a really good song. I just don't know if it has the power behind it to propel it through and propel it up to 14th, even if it does qualify.
Aya crawled so that Tavo Akis can run. I think
Kind of
that's
true.
I think that's what I'm gonna say. I think I didn't. When I heard this the first time, I was like, okay, but the depth of the song when he goes Tavo, 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 it just hits you. I love it. And we do forget that actually Eurovision is a contest that is consumed by one demographic in society, but it is enjoyed by everyone. Even those who don't tell us that they enjoy Eurovision. And I'm pretty sure that the people who vote for this song, and they exist, we never see them consuming Eurovision, but we know they will be enjoying Eurovision in their little living room, drinking a beer or a hot black cup of coffee. I don't know. We just don't see the fans of this song, but I think they will be there, and I think this should make the final. Maybe not so comfortably, I don't know, but I think this will be the final. Yeah.
I was going to make
Max,
the
any
same point
final-
that Neil Era made of UK and Ireland and Latvia voting in that semi-final with Lithuania could give them a chance. UK historically always give Lithuania. There's a massive Lithuanian diaspora across the British Isles. And I think that's helpful for them. I think it really is. I think it'll.
Poland
Yeah.
did have diaspora last year.
It's true. What did that do? Nothing. It's true.
This is true.
Max,
that was
any final
bad.
comments on Lithuania?
Lithuania. Well, at first I didn't think that this song could qualify. I wasn't to it, and then it getting like completely addicted to the Tavo thing at the end of the song. It creates this atmospherical thing, which is a bit apocalyptic with the staging, and depending about the ring order where they're gonna place, I think they could have a chance to definitely qualify and maybe have the huge support that we don't expect maybe with this song. But I could see Lithuania qualify and do much more well than I thought at first.
Can I mention
I don't
one more
think-
country
Yes, sure.
that we have not discussed and I think is criminally underrated in the odds? Where's Greece? Where is Greece? I think Greece is heavily underestimated, and I kind of like that they are, because then there's an opportunity for a surprise, so we can completely have a moment where we're like, oh my god, we kind of all forget about Greece. But the song for me is excellent. I absolutely love the song. It's both a shower and a grower. I think the vocal performance could be one of the best. And my only worry is, when are we going to give Fokas Evangelinos his social security? Come on. When are we going to have the ceremony where he passes the baton to his students of the Fokas Evangelinos staging school and just let something else catch the riff? Because I'm worried. I'm worried about the stage performance. At Ethnikos Telikos, it was awful. Let's face it, it was awful. And they did say they're going to change it completely, but I just don't trust us with the staging anymore. And I really, really, really don't want this to look like Die Together in 2022. And that's what I think it's going to look like. I don't want to see classroom chairs and a blue floor background and a white dress. Please, Greece, you're capable of so much better. The music video was great.
I just don't want it to be Onirumu Part 2, because it's like Onirumu is my favorite Greek entry ever, and Asteromalta is same vibes, and I just don't want the same treatment. I don't want them to just NQ gone. I took the staging. It's good enough to make it memorable.
Sorry?
Do you think
if it does, it'll be low. I think it might.
I think Greece will qualify. I feel much safer about Greece than Lithuania.
Really?
Do you like Greece?
I'm kind of thinking like 9, 10, or 11.
I'm kind of torn about Greece. I don't hate it. It's not a song that I really listen to a lot, but I think with the right staging, and the staging is really the biggest question mark here, with the right staging, I think it could be very impactful. Plus, it does stand out. So I think, yeah, I think it all depends on the staging at this point. We know.
I'm stopping myself from singing as well.
Just vibing in the background.
Yeah. let's pause the stream. Just listen.
It's such a good song. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one, like, if there's someone who's Greek in the running order team, I have an idea. If you really want to make Greece stand out, here's what I would do. Open the semifinal with Armenia. Put Greece in the number 2 spot. Yes, I said put Greece in the number 2 spot. Yes. And then follow it with Australia. That song will stand out so much. It happened this year in Malta, in the second semi-final MESC. I don't know if anyone followed MESC. We had Kelsey Bellante with everything exposed. Then we had Dario Benzina and Zeppel Moon, the traditional beautiful ballad. And then we had a terrible song. And he won the semi-final.
Well, before we move on to the next segment, which is our 100% correct predictions, we've talked and blabbed on about stuff in general. Let's get specific. 51 people watching us at the moment, and I've seen the number be even higher. So thank you guys so much. It really gives us the signal that you enjoy what we're doing here. You like this experimental live stream. Of course, let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see different in possible future live streams. Leave those comments. But let's now move on to the first category of predictions. And to introduce, here's a short video.
This is a very good song. I think it definitely should qualify.
I can see qualification for that. Pretty much.
I really feel like this could be a top 5 entry.
Could be exceptional with a live performance. I see the ending of this song could be so epic on that Eurovision stage.
Jean-Louis, je n'y crois pas.
J'y crois pas là.
Cool. Sorry, just jump scared by myself.
Oh my god.
That was a troll.
That was really good.
That was really
That was
Who
really good.
is the Misty of the year? Meaning a song that is very high in the odds. Everyone kind of expects it to qualify, at least at this stage, but will have no chance.
I hope it does not happen. Belgium, again.
I thought about
But I
this
could,
one.
I could see it. I could see
That
it.
would be hilarious, honestly.
It would be tragic. And like, Strobe Lights is one of my favorite songs this year, but I can see it non-qualifying. I can see it not hitting, or just not connecting.
I'm so
I
not sure.
already don't like it. I already don't like it. I know.
That's fair enough.
When he starts with those high notes, I'm like, who left the kettle on? Who left the kettle
It's
on?
where I want to stay.
I mean, no, but I don't think it's going to be Belgium, and I'll tell you why. Whenever Belgium is represented by a Walloon broadcaster, they always send the most non-charismatic people in the world. We had Elliot, we had Blanche, even though Blanche did well, but let's face it, charisma was not her forte. We had Musti, who is a lovely guy, but like when he was supposed to be serious in the song, he would be smiling from ear to ear. But then when he's supposed to be doing acrobats, all we could do is see him do this. Not the performer for that song. And the staging was literally nothing.
They just did every single thing wrong with that staging last year, basically. Every decision they could make, it was the wrong one. So, yeah. Although I absolutely adored the song, in the end, it deserved to not qualify. The vocals weren't there as well. So I do see Belgium again, but I think it will qualify. So I wouldn't
I think
actually.
so as well. They have the staging sorted. Like they can take what they had at Eurosong, and at least Red Sebastian, even if you don't like the kettle, you don't really. I mean, he's not uncharismatic, and I don't know if I have a thing against high notes, but I like Austria. My problem with Austria is that for the first 2/3 of the song, I can't understand what he's saying.
Most of the lyrics are wasted love. It's okay. Just assume it's that.
It reminds me a little bit of.
It is most of the song.
I don't know if you guys watched Junior Eurovision back in the day, but Malta once had a song called Diamonds by Federica Falzon when Junior Eurovision happened in Malta. It was a fantastic popera song, but it had the same problem. No one could understand what the girl is talking about. And it did very well in the jury vote, but it didn't do very well in the televote. At the same time, I'm one of those people who says people don't care about lyrics. But let me talk about me. I like Austria. It's grown a lot on me, but that's my only thing. But to answer your question, I think if there's a song high in the odds that could actually not do as well. Wait, let me find the odds again. Yeah, I think. Well, now it's lower as we speak, and it went down a lot. But I think Cyprus is in big trouble. That song.
I saw somewhere that he said the secret of the song will be revealed on the stage, which makes me think it's going to be some, innovative prop that we've, never seen before. Think back to Greece with Stefania. But you're so right. I can't connect with that song at all. It's like he's almost singing for most of it. Almost.
And every time I have something to say about the song, he goes, hush. Like I can't even speak during the song. So what am I supposed to like here? I open my mouth and he goes, hush. What is the secret? The last time we had this kind of narrative, Ronella performed on stage, and I think we would not have liked to see that secret after all. So I don't know. Maybe I'm good without the secret. Yeah, some people commented about this thing that you mentioned on my reaction, and I'm like, what is this narrative? Why are you overhyping people up? So for what? He's gonna have a tattoo? Like that? PR. Where are the PR graduates? We can do better. We can do better.
Hire us. I mean, I do actually like Cyprus. I think it's a nice radio song, and I enjoy listening to it. But I did hear, I didn't listen to it myself, but he did have a live performance somewhere, and it supposedly wasn't really good. And that was while standing still and singing. So imagine him doing choreo. It could be a train wreck, and in that case, Musti of the Year. But I think it's borderline. I did see a country mentioned here a few times already as well. Let me try to find it. That I didn't really expect. Australia. Now
I don't think
that's
Australia is
a
qualifying.
you don't?
No,
What?
it's a big surprise.
The shake is not a drink, it's a state of mind, a secret superpower that you were born to find. Come
I
on.
really don't think Australia is qualifying,
Whoa.
especially
I thought it's
if they go all Oli Alexander on the staging.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think the song is doing much. I think the lyrics are
surely they'll
absolutely
learn.
disgusting. And trust me, I'm not a prude, but I think the lyrics are absolutely disgusting. And Australia doesn't really have a history at Eurovision where they do well with the televote, unless they're doing something innovative like Kate Miller-Heidke, or they're closing the show like Voyager. I genuinely think Montenegro has a better shot at qualifying than Australia. Watch me be wrong, and it will be in the next video that Eston prepares for the live stream next year. But so far, I don't think Australia is qualifying.
Wow.
Oh.
But Sean, I just wanted to ask if you think these lyrics are, what they are. What do you think about Malta and Finland then? Because
Good
Finland
question.
is it not even hiding it. True, it's in their native language, but the lyrics are much more spicy.
But
Good question.
our confidence look like much more better than Australia, I think. So Erika Wickman convinced me much more, and it doesn't feel like as sexual that it looks for Australia, I think.
Merci beaucoup. I agree with you so
T'en
much.
prie.
Je suis d'accord.
Merci.
We know Erika Wickman. Basically, this woman was born to be a porn star. Let's rip the band-aid, okay? Most of her material is about playing with sexual lines, comparing life experiences to sexual experiences. And I think Ich komme, what makes it so special, and I really hope people understand this, is that the song is basically an orgasm. The last 30 seconds, it's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And then it's like, wah! That's it. Ich komme.
Sparks
And that's
coming
smart.
out.
Yeah, that's artistry for me. She really does it well. And I think it's very, very thoughtful, very, very smart. Whereas Gojo just looked up the brief and said, oh, the Eurovision fan community is a lot of gay boys. So let me give them something to enjoy. And let's face it, he looks good in his jumpsuit. But is there anything smart? Is there anything conceptual about this? Is there anything that makes you think they spent more than 2 minutes or 2 brain cells, rather, thinking about the lyrics? Go, Joe. Go, Joe. Go, Joe. It sounds like the name of a wafer or something. Let me get you some Gojos. I don't know. I really, really don't like it. I'm sorry. Australians, you don't turn up at Eurovision live streams so much, so I don't think I'm gonna get so hated. But if there's anyone watching, I love your song last year. We all know how that went. But this year, I'm sorry. I'm lactose intolerant this year.
It's okay, he's got
So you
lactose
don't
free,
want-
don't you worry. Gucci's got you covered.
Oh, and if you want my opinion about cunt, yeah, because people are talking about
Stop!
Malta's-
BBC will block us. They will demonetize the
Serving.
video.
This
They
is
are
going to be-
serving.
Buckets.
They are
They are serving espresso macchiatos. If Sean is lactose intolerant, just espresso. You'll get the milkshake without the lactose. They have options, but they are not serving. We just can't say that word.
We're serving. We're serving. This was not the song I wanted my country to be represented with. I don't think there's anything sexual about the lyrics apart from the song that was removed, and there's nothing sexual about this. It's just, and now even more, because we can't even say that word. But what I will say is that I did not expect the delegation and the people who have to front this to do anything different, because clearly the strength of the song was the gimmick. And by having this reaction, this overreaction about censorship, they proved to everyone that actually they don't even believe in the song that much without the word. So that is where I feel a little bit disappointed. But also there was a lot of this drama about censorship against the Maltese language. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Honestly, if you wanted to vote for a song in the Maltese language, this year we were spoiled for choice at MESC. If you wanted Alp ma Alp, thank you. Azlit, la la ratatake, la la ratakaboom. We had options. This song does not use the Maltese language other than to get away with swearing in English. Let's say it like it is, and let's not make fools out of people and insult people's intelligence. But I think it's gonna qualify. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys think about Malta this year?
I think it's iconic. I think she has the diva energy required to represent Malta and herself in a way that draws people in to her and gets people on board. Because we know that Malta doesn't have a strong history with televotes. But I think with the drama that's being created around her own personality, it might be enough to get the televote point she needs. That's kind of where I'm at with Malta. I love the song.
No press is bad press.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise, Sean. I don't like the song.
Oh.
And
Not even this cool piano version playing behind us.
I like one part of the song. That's the melodic part before the chorus. But the chorus itself, and no, it's just not for me. And I would actually say it's just the worse version of Shemikas. Come shoot me.
I don't like the song that much, to be honest either. It's my 18th this year, but I wouldn't compare it to Jemakas. No, I think it's a little bit more playful than Jemakas. Yeah, no, I don't think it's. I've seen the comparisons, but no, I think actually Mirjana Conte is very different. People, I love this comment, by the way. Joanna, thank you. Yes, absolutely. I am a Roman Catholic.
It is the 69th edition.
No, I'm joking.
Forward in the 70th.
I'm joking by bringing the fact that I am a Catholic in it, because a lot of people attack Catholics for ruining the fun at Eurovision because we are so, I don't know, rude apparently. I love Ich komme, and I don't mind serving cunt. But it's true. I mean, for me, Australia is the one that's vulgarizing Eurovision this year with these lyrics. And I agree. I think we should be a little bit more respectful of this institution of music that we love so much, called Eurovision.
But just to be clear, I think we steered off course a little bit because I assume we all think Malta is qualifying.
I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. But there was so much press that people who, like, Malta's song this year is being heard by people who don't follow Eurovision for good reasons. So it's like the marketing was done on its own, and there was a very good streak of good luck. So I think it's going to have its effect, and I do think it's going to qualify. When it won, I was like, don't say I told you. But now, with all of this, I actually think the EBU did us a favor.
There we go. Yeah, it got a lot of publicity, which
Loki got more publicity than Remember Monday.
I wonder why.
a lot more. That's not even a question.
But UK. In the UK,
Yeah,
they were like, "Here's our song,
But
but
the
guys, Malta."
but the UK is already in the final, so they got at least that in the bag. All right. Well, I think we can move on to the next category, which will be
Latvia.
who will be the Dons of the year.
You have done an amazing job with these videos. The effort gets a 10 out of 10.
But who will it be? Who will we react to like that, like we did in Malmö last year?
What about Portugal? We don't talk about this one. Well, I completely not into the song, but sometimes it surprises with such like a classic song. I'm gonna say like, yeah, I was thinking about Portugal maybe, but I'm so uncertain about this one.
When you think about Portugal's like kind of last run of songs, it's been excellence after excellence after excellence. And not that this isn't. This is a great Portuguese song, but is it a Portuguese Eurovision song? I love parts of the song. Like, really, I was listening to it and I was like, oh, actually, I really like this. And then suddenly I was like, actually, it's boring now. I don't think it grips you for the full 3 minutes. So I don't
I
think
think
it'll qualify.
Portugal is taking the piss. I think Portugal is getting way comfortable with the simplistic element of their songs, and I think we need to draw a line. This year, I don't think it's gonna qualify now, especially with them being in the first half of a semi-final that Gary Deston thinks is very good.
I mean, Gianna has a good point. I think Portugal had many good options this year. There were many fan favorites, and they picked none of them. I wouldn't say that Portugal is completely out, but it would be a surprise. It's not that it's a bad song, but it just might not reach enough people. It might be the, oh, let's make a sandwich, what's the next song kind of song.
Yeah.
Maybe not as
Is
bad
this-
as a toilet break song,
Yeah.
but maybe just a little bit too boring. But there are people who think it could be the Dons of the year. And Jude, are you?
Just about Laura. Hang in there.
I actually will say something I think quite shocking, but I have supporters in the comments already.
Oh yeah, I know you're gonna. Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't rule it out. I would not rule
Guys.
it out. We don't have. We really don't have many ballots in the semi-final one. This, in contrast to Portugal, is in English. People will understand the lyrics, will understand the message, which is really personal and touching. So it will stand out and could get the mum's vote, indeed. So my bold prediction, if I really want to make a bold prediction for Dons of the year, is Slovenia.
It's one of those songs that I listened to the first time and was like, this is so meh. Whenever we think about Veronica last year, which on the theme of crying that we had once, that's the only time I've cried recently to a Eurovision entry was Veronica. But anyway, I listened to that and I was like, huh, boring. And then the second time I was like, no, actually, wait. I could just
Wait,
sit.
Veronica.
Yeah. I cried.
Ah, you cried. I thought you
I
said
think
that
I was.
story.
Oh. No, I cried.
Why
Because
did
I
you
was so
cry
happy
to
with it.
Veronica?
It was Raven. I knew it was going to be good, and it was like straight to my number one. But
Eston,
this,
if you want
I
to
was
put
like,
a video, you should put my reaction to Slovenia qualifying last year. Who will be?
That wasn't as shocking. Latvia was literally dead last. Slovenia was kind of borderline. But the reaction was fantastic. It was in the Malmö Euro fan cafe, and you just did a few laps around it.
Yeah, I let it rip. I don't think Slovenia
but
is
I could
qualifying.
see. I don't think but this is what we thought about Dons. This is exactly the point. I don't think
But
they're
the
going to
thing is-
qualify, but when they do, that'll be my reaction.
Dons had a perfect storm, in my opinion, because there were 9 solid qualifiers in that semi-final, and Belgium. It was, people were thinking Belgium or Malta, and Malta never had a song. And I'm gonna give you some exclusive here. Not even who sang Malta's song believed in Malta's song last year. Make of that what you will. So people were like, should we just have 9 qualifiers? Because Belgium was terrible on the performance, and it was sandwiched between Georgia and Estonia, which completely destroyed it. And I remember saying, I said, if there is one song that should actually take Belgium's place, it should be Latvia, because it's the ballad replacing the ballad. It's the ballad being performed like it should be. But we never believed it because it was last in the odds, and sure enough, it happened. So I feel like it was the perfect storm. And it's hard to achieve that perfect storm kind of thing again. But I think, and I know I kind of said it about this country last year, and it didn't happen because they staged their song very poorly. But I think this year, Azerbaijan is qualifying.
Ooh.
I love it when you nod like that, Jude. It makes me feel less
Yeah.
lonely about what I believe I'm very lonely on.
I've ranked Azerbaijan higher than Armenia this year, and that says all you need to know.
Azerbaijan is in my top 10 this year.
I think Azerbaijan is a fine song, but a qualification? What about it is special, or what about it makes it stand out? What about it is something that will make people vote for it? I don't see it. It's a fine song. I like it, but
I feel like it's very unpretentious, and I feel like it's very, like, Azerbaijan typically has had success when they blend something folky with a modern sound, and I feel like this is that recipe. The song reminds me a lot of Pet Shop Boys and that kind of synth sound, which is not very progressive, but also kind of just unpretentious. That's the word that comes to mind. But then they have that glam, 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 that kind of gives an instrumental break. That's the moment when people are like, and I think it could really get the votes of the people who don't want to vote for Sweden. There will be people who don't. Who's in the semi-final one? There will be people who don't want to vote for Estonia because, for whatever reason, I don't know. There will be people who don't vibe with Albania. I feel like the people who don't usually get the Eurovision of it all, I think Azerbaijan could collect some of those points. Having said that, when I make narratives like this, it doesn't always come to fruition. So maybe I should stop in order not to jinx it. But please, for the love of God, Azerbaijan, qualify. I love this song.
You did like Azerbaijan last year, if I'm not
I
mistaken, as well,
loved
right?
Azerbaijan last year, and I was mortified by that staging. And I had to say, on the jury show, which I watched live, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to let this one go. I'm not ready to do it 2 years in a row. Mama Gama, don't let me down." They're also really nice. There was a TikTok of them today reacting to memes of the videos. It was brilliant. And the people in the comments, look how stupid. People were like, "Why don't you react to your own song? Your song is uglier." There was literally their own song with a meme there. People can be really ridiculous sometimes.
By the way, 69th edition, 69 viewers. We talked about that earlier as well.
Nice.
But something I mentioned before even, and at least looking at the odds currently, would truly be Dons of the Year is Iceland, which I do think has actually a decent chance qualifying.
Do you feel it coming?
I didn't last year. This year.
I feel the octopus coming more than I did last year.
Komme.
The octopus is coming.
I really wouldn't mind Iceland qualifying. I think Iceland has a really, really good song. I mean, if I had to choose Azerbaijan or Iceland, I think I would choose Azerbaijan. But, for example, can I go off on a tangent? What do you guys think about Croatia?
I don't
I
like it.
love parts and detest parts. That, like, parts of the verses, I'm like, yes. Actually, vocals, yes. The melody in some of the verses is so strong, in my opinion. But as soon as you get to the, sickly sweet candy colored, and then the contrast, which doesn't work live, into the chorus, it just falls apart.
Yeah, I think it's just many songs in one. And I don't hate the song, but I feel like they're trying to do too much, and they're trying to, I get the idea of what they were trying to do, but I think they just missed the mark. And I'm afraid Croatia won't be the Dons of the Year.
I think it's terrible. I really don't like Croatia. It's my number 37. Vocals, 0. Song, 0. Charisma, 0. Staging, 0. Likability, 0. Lyrics, -5. Is there? I brought it up because I'm curious, because I can't be the only one. And Croatia had options this year. That's the vulgarity of it all. Croatia had options this year. We had Lelek, we had Ogen, we had Luka Nijetic. But HRT clearly learned no lessons from Baby Lasagna. The one song they didn't pick won the televote at Eurovision. They learned no lessons.
Yeah. Croatia did fall indeed. Do we have others that we think could potentially be the Dons? We haven't really talked about Ireland. People tend to write that off, but I wouldn't. I think it could definitely make it.
I don't know. I like it, but I don't know.
I just have beef with, the Irish selection as usual. It's, but putting that aside, I feel like I don't know, I feel like Emmy just could. It's Emmy. That's the thing that's playing on my mind. It's Emmy. Like, she is a performer. If she was able to do that in the tiny RTE studio, no one does well in that studio, and she made something happen in it. She can elevate it. We've seen what she did for Witchwoods and MGP. that was just so safe and cute and fun, and I hope we can qualify again. But also Bobby Arlo, I'm still so annoyed.
You know who was my favorite? For the first time, I actually watched some of Ireland. I really liked Edgy.
I feel sorry. Oh,
I really liked Edgy. I thought there could have been something there. But the problem with Emmy for me is that she doesn't smile. She doesn't smile very much, and that makes her come across as unlikable. And with a song like Witchwoods, I get it. You're playing the part. You shouldn't smile. But here, think of like, I don't know, the most charismatic artist that ever graced the Eurovision stage in the last few years, Alexandra Rotan. She's literally giving face with every camera crop. And she looks like, I want to be her best friend. I want her to be my sister. I just want to be around her. And that is a really, really big selling point. Emmy is kind of like the opposite. She makes you feel like brat. She's a brat, but not in a good way.
She's not 365 party girl.
I mean, to be fair, the story itself is not really that happy and positive. So maybe she's a little bit sad for poor Laika. She's hopeful. She's hoping that she's still dancing among the stars, but we all know that's really not the case.
She doesn't look sad. She looks like the girl. And I'm sure she's not, which is why I'm annoyed. But she comes across as the girl that if I walk through the school corridor, she's going to smash my head on the lockers. Or did anyone ever watch Glee? When they throw the slushies in people's faces?
Yeah.
Well,
like a party.
it is catchy though, and I think
love this song.
It does have a
I really like the song.
But let's try to keep the live stream under 2 hours. So moving on to the next few points, which I hope and think will be a little bit shorter. Let's talk about the jury votes in the final. Who do we think are potential winners?
What about Austria?
Yeah.
Even if I don't feel this song could win, I think because of the vocals and the opera style of singing, it could smash the jury vote, definitely.
I think it's got that kind of same
is...
John Steers type appeal. The juries are going to be like, yeah, if it's done well live, yeah, winner.
I think that this is the obvious one, and I can see a landslide jury victory, honestly. It depends, of course, in the competition. How good will France be? Maybe some votes for Switzerland. I don't think so. Netherlands could do well. But I don't see... Well. Yeah, but I don't see them winning the jury votes. So it's Austria's to lose in this regard, I would say.
Yeah. I actually think maybe I'm coming to this more with desire than realistic prediction, but I think Finland won't do poorly with the jury vote because, let's face it, juries love some feminism. They love some women empowerment. And I think, Austria, the Netherlands, France, they are very obvious jury picks. But if there's going to be one that kind of slips into third with the jury, like Baby Lasagna last year, or Måneskin came fourth in 2021, Ukraine came fourth in 2021, but okay. I think Finland actually could slip into the top three of the jury vote. And with that, then we can actually think, is Finland still in contention to win?
I think it surely has to be. Like, it is a song that stands out. She's charisma is out of this world, and she can just take the OMK staging, change the costume because she has to for some reason. I mean, if that costume is too revealing, what was Finland last year?
But this was
what
not true.
was Malta a few years ago? What was I don't know, a booty girl from Spain? We have
wasn't
plenty
true. The EBU
of
didn't-
examples.
The EBU didn't actually request her to cover her butt. It wasn't official,
Okay,
right?
but there was her own comment, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. I don't know what she said. I think they were just having a conversation over a beer or a long kero, and they were like, because then Ulle said that the EBU made no official requests to cover up or to do something. So I'm a bit confused about this. Like,
Plus, she does have the stars here, so
yeah.
I don't see the problem.
Although to be fair, I don't think it will take away anything if she covers up her bust, butt
yeah.
and her bust. But I don't.
I mean,
think
she
it
is
will-
well covered, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think it will affect anything about the votes. Where I do think, I really hope we don't lose the microphone with the ejaculation pyro. I really hope we don't lose that, because that is literally the explanation of the song in staging. This is what I mean when I said Finland this year is playing smart, and I hope the EBU doesn't step on their smart. But back to the question, I think Finland can do it with the jury.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, she sang really well in OMK. She had some power vocals, and we know that after coming off of the stage, she was crying because she couldn't correctly hear herself and thought she missed her chance. So I would expect her to be perfect in Basel. So I am really hopeful. The ending and the microphone, it has to stay. Plus, I'm just hoping for even more pyro just everywhere and shut it off, like just make the climax come with a bang. That's what I'm saying. But actually, on the point that you don't think it's gonna do as poorly as we might think, I would bring Sweden into this. I don't think they're in it to win the jury vote, but they could come pretty close, and we already saw in Melodifestivalen, which is a pretty good standard and prediction of the jury vote, it did really well and almost won. And if that is the case, I would say Sweden will probably win again, because Tele-vote will definitely go for it. But jury vote, Sweden, what do we think?
I could see it. I feel like you've got three guys that can actually sing really well together in harmony. You know, the jury's gonna be like, yeah, good stage performance. Yeah, you know, it does have jury appeal and mass public appeal, as we've seen. I mean, I don't want it to be too obvious, but maybe it is too obvious.
I think if Sweden won the jury vote, the Eurovision would be the most hypocritical voting ever. Because for so long we have lost these kinds of songs to jury votes, and they were well sung. Baby Lasagna was well sung last year. Karia was well sung.
Was it really?
For what it was, I think it was sung where it needed to be sung. And if this ends up being
that he showed us, he even got a little bit too many votes from the jury. He didn't sound good. I love the performance, and I do think Finland had a great show, but the vocals weren't good.
But then again, we know juries don't vote according to vocals. I mean, if the juries vote according to vocals, the UK should not have gotten a single point from the juries last year. Let's be honest. And there was also, I mean, the Netherlands would have come 10th in the jury vote last year if they carried on. Those vocals love the song, #Justice for Joost Klein, but I don't think the jury, and if the jury voted for vocals, Il Volo would have won Eurovision in 2015. So I think we really, really overestimate the jury's ears. But back to Sweden, I actually think Sweden won't win the jury or the televote. And yeah, I know that's a big statement because Sweden has pretty much never sent a song in Swedish or in their folk kind of vibe in a very long time. And we tend to forget that people do tend to vote according to expectancy, and people expect from Sweden the perfect pop. And I don't think it's gonna come. I think it will come like second or third in the televote, or maybe fourth. But I just don't think it's going to have as much of an obvious televote appeal than what we think, based on the fact that this is Sweden. And for the first time ever, I think the fact that it is Sweden might not help them in the televote, because the expectancy this time is against them, which I'm not sad about because I'm happy Sweden is doing something different. I'm hashtag Team Kai all the way. Wouldn't have minded Clara Hammarström, but not complaining. But I have a sneaky feeling that this won't win the jury or the televote. And besides, Malmö said they don't want to host it. Stockholm won't kick out the football teams. Where are we going to host Eurovision if Sweden wins?
In Helsinki, maybe.
Tampere.
Tampere.
So I can have my free accommodation.
I think
I agree with
also
Catherine.
one country is in the... Yeah.
I was going to say, I agree with Catherine. The song is so viral, and also it has that Moldova appeal, where it's that kind of just folky song that, obviously, we see this one coming, but Trelleleccio, who would have thought that they would be standing up there like, what on earth, why are we getting so many public votes? But I think Kai is helped by the fact that the juries could put it fifth, and the public could put it second. Stranger things have happened.
But you know what, Jude? People will vote for Trelleleccio because that's what they expect from Moldova. But when, for example, Foulen from France, who I thought was an excellent song...
It reminded me.
One of the last ones.
Foulen doesn't have this... But Foulen's not this... In my opinion, Foulen is not the same as Trelleleccio was. Completely different. Like...
I would argue that it was better.
It's not as crowd-friendly.
Yeah,
yeah,
true. But like my point is, I think
was very like
people don't expect this kind of folk from Western European countries. Let's put it that way. Except maybe Portugal. Even I don't know. I think if Spain sent Canjungueiras, I mean, we'll never know, but probably it wouldn't have done as well as Chanel, because the expectancy. I mean, when Spain sent folk, Blanca Paloma. I think the expectancy might play a little bit into this. But if Sweden wins with Kai, I think it will be their best winner in the last 3 times they won. Sorry, Max, I know you love Loreen.
Okay.
But
I think it would be good for the contest if Sweden won with Kai.
And it would show, like Mr. Selmelöv, that actually the juries might have made a good decision.
Bad loser.
And Swedes, like send something like this. I think song-wise, we would all cheer that Kai won. Country-wise, it would be like 4th time within 13 years, which, yeah, would be a bit much, maybe. But we'll see what will happen. I would bring also Netherlands into the conversation because it is really high in the odds and people expect it to do really well with the jury. What do we think?
I agree.
I just can't see it.
I can't.
I don't know. Or maybe it's just I'm thinking too much about what I expect the Netherlands to send on. I don't know. Claude's music catalogue is excellent, but I think it's just, again, when you're talking about expectations of what a country sends, for me that's not what I assumed a Dutch Eurovision entry to be. I also don't like that French kind of music, so it kind of, back off on me there, but
You're right.
I can see juries being like, yes. I can't see the public getting behind it very much when we have other French language songs as well.
You're absolutely right on the expectancy. This song could have come from Belgium, because everyone would think, what is
Yes.
Stromae doing on Eurovision stage?
Yes, I think the French language, can someone tell it, is so basic. Like it could be lyrics from junior Eurovision actually, even if people are saying that it's to connect like his child years to what his mother was saying, it's really poor. And as a French speaker, I don't like at all this moment, and I expect him to sing like in French and in Dutch actually, not in English, so I'm a bit disappointed on this point. And for me, the song is a bit flat, to be honest. I'm not listening to it a lot. I like the dance and the energy about the dance and the performance, but on the song itself, I'm really divided about it. Yep.
To be honest, like I haven't shot and uploaded many reaction videos this year. Netherlands was one of them, and the initial reaction was like, yeah, this is a good song, but no, like, where are the votes? Where is it? Like, it doesn't have that special something to make people vote for it. The Eurovision model predicts it to do really well and make it out of the semi comfortably, but I do see more jury appeal than televote for sure. But I am warming up to it, and he also did a live performance of it recently in a TV show, which was excellent. So I think Netherlands will comfortably be in the top 10. Top 5 in the jury, perhaps, but maybe not that high with the televote.
Speaking of juries, can I bring up something that I think people have been hoping that we bring up for the last hour and 52 minutes?
Please do.
I think if juries were actual music industry professionals who vote objectively according to what Eurovision is and what Eurovision should stand for, I think many of us would agree that Albania should at least be in the top 3 of the jury vote.
Yes.
Will
it happen?
We all know.
No, I repeat,
Should
many
it
of us
happen?
would agree that it should.
Yeah.
It won't happen
Yes.
because our juries music industry professionals? No. Do they vote objectively? No. Do they vote independently from one another? No. So 3 out of 3 gone. So it won't happen. But if juries should be what EBU and Eurovision markets them to be, and quite as it's kept, if you're a juror who accounts for 10% of the country's vote, you should be a music industry professional, but you're not. So I think if juries were what they're supposed to be, Albania. Come on. I know you're Estonian up there, but Albania.
I
Even
haven't
you
even
can't
said
dislike.
anything yet. I
Even
do
you
actually
can't
like the
dislike.
song, which is a
There we go.
surprise. But I mean, the vocals are there, but they're not anything out of this world great. I don't see the jury points there. It's produced well, but again, I would say nothing out of this world great. I don't see why the juries would have to go for Albania over so many other songs. Even the country that shall not be named, otherwise known as Israel, which is a very jury song. So yeah, I just don't see why Albania should be high with the jury vote. With a televote, though, completely.
Jude, speak some sense into him, please.
I don't know if I can. Albania. Sorry.
Max, anything?
I think
About
Albania are just, they're so, whenever Albania send a song in Albanian, they're rooted to themselves. They're really sending something that's, Albanian to the core. It brings, Albanians love it. They've had to fight their way through Festival Kings to be here. I think it's just very well done and very different while still being not fully what you'd expect from Albania, but what you'd expect from Albania. Like, it's fun, quirky, just a really good package. And I'm vibing.
Max, why do we all love Albania?
I think about this before because the guy, when he's speaking, like singing his part, it's something which is quite common here in French-speaking country, I'm gonna say. So we're kind of used to this style because a lot of people are like laughing about this or like think it's a bit weird, but for me it's totally not. So I could see like French public actually really support this one and really be into this guy moment, this part about the song, and because they describe their music as like pop immigrant music, and it's so interesting. I think like it's innovative in a way, but I like their story. I like what they're trying to give in terms of emotion, and also tell that like the singer, also the girl, she's amazing. Like the way she's looking at the camera, the look, everything, her eyes, I'm really falling in love with her, and a bit of him, but much more about her. So yes, I'm Team Albania, definitely.
Someone mentioned that this is like Constructa and Goe. I would add this to that category in the sense that this brings an innovity to Eurovision, that if juries care for the progression and for the growth of Eurovision, I think this song should not be left, I want to say outside of the top 5, but let's say top 10. This song can't be left out of the top 10 this year, for the love of God. And watch the televoters be responsible for that and not the juries.
Yeah, I would definitely agree more on the Constructor front. Go Away was completely different, but it has the artistry and the mystery, and it is just so different. It will not compete for the votes with anyone. If people like this song, there is no competition. So I do see it doing really well with the televote. So talking of televote, of course, let's just move there. We already talked about Sweden as potentially doing really well, Finland, Albania. Who are some others that could be in the top 3 or 5 in the televote?
Israel.
Well, of course, naturally.
And
I
it's a
think
good song.
Ukraine actually will be at least in the top 10 with the televote as well. I didn't like the song at the beginning personally either, but I think it's decent actually. And of course, considering the situation, and it's been very much in the news recently as well, I think it's still gonna get tons of votes. But leaving Israel and Ukraine aside, which is mostly going to be political.
Ukraine. I don't know about Ukraine because this is really different from what Ukraine usually serves at Eurovision. And I'm not sure the people who love Ukraine at Eurovision are ready for this. Quiet as it's kept. This is qualifying, yes. But especially with juries, I kind of don't expect to see Ukraine in the top 10 this year. Yeah.
And it's a bit different from what they usually listen in terms of music. Like, it's not like the technical thing that we could expect with the modern side. It's much more about something that I could listen, well, a bit from like British pop music. Not totally exactly, but it's not something I expect from Ukraine. I still love the song. I hope it's gonna do well, but it's not my favorite from Ukraine, definitely.
I'm surprised no one talked about, well, not in jury winner category or anything winner. I'm surprised no one brought up Spain.
Oh yes, Spain. What about
the revamp was absolutely unnecessary.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you make it worse?
I really liked the song as it was. It wasn't my top 10.
Same. I
Peter
think it was
Bostrom
mid-sync,
knows what he's
actually.
doing.
It's
Yeah,
still
that
in
does
the
that.
top 10.
You've been quiet on Spain.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I didn't like Zora last year. I don't like this year. I don't know what it is. I want Spain to send something more exciting, I think is the word I would use. Something more, Tantrigueras type. Just
So you don't like divas?
I just Spanish. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I just.
What was your pick, Jude, this year? I'm curious. Did you watch Benidorm Fest?
Yeah.
I paid a little bit of attention to it, and I actually didn't like. I feel like I didn't like any of the songs this year. Like, I usually add about 4 or 5 songs from Benidorm Festival to my playlist. I think I added 2. VIP was definitely one of them. It was okay. I'm going to see if I can find the other one. Eurovision. I also have like 100 songs in my national selections playlist.
But
for
until
this
you
year,
find it, I will say that for me, the best song, and I emphasize song, the vocal performance was disappointing, but the song, and honestly, the staging was really good as well. For me, this year in Spain was La Pena de Teresa. I thought Spain could have had an opportunity to really surprise people with that. But I'm quite lonely in that camp. So I'm not expecting
I listened to the songs from Benidorm Fest. Not like, okay, I'm sitting and listening. I just put the playlist on. I heard nothing really that was like, ooh, stop. I like that.
Yeah.
None.
Mm-hmm.
They were all like,
listening
yeah,
to it in work,
nice.
and it was just like,
yeah.
Meh.
It all just went. I wasn't like offended by anything, but they were all just nice. Yeah. What did you
I
break?
think the level each year around Benidorm Fest is kind of disappointing each year after year since the first edition. So I'm a bit worried about this selection.
I agree.
Maybe a revamp is needed. Unlike
no, they tried revamping it and look what happened. They made it worse. Spain just should not touch their I don't know. Spain is so messy at Eurovision so many times because the one I thought Melody actually was the best option that they had from a weak bunch, and they could have really had an opportunity to pull an Italy, whereas they say this is what we have. You either like it or not, and it might have not done very well. Okay, but I just love Italy's attitude at Eurovision where they simply don't care about what people think about them, that they will send the song that they want to send, and they typically always tend to do well, and I think this year will be no exception, even though people think differently. And I wish Spain could have some more self-pride in what they believe in. But it's true, this Benidorm Fest was not strong.
For sure. Let's move on to the final category, because it's gone on for a while now, but I mean, we still have almost 70 viewers, so wow, just it is
we must
crazy.
Be doing something.
Thank you. And we have a lot of things to discuss, so I think definitely more live streams coming from me and Sean as well.
Stay tuned.
Guys, who will win Eurovision 2025? As we predict this 2 months before the actual final. Jude, who will be the winner?
It's really hard to say anyone apart from Sweden or Austria. And it feels so basic, but also I think it's more open than previous years, but I just can't really see the combination of votes coming together for anyone except for the 2 of them. Sweden and Austria.
Max.
Well, you're gonna say I'm too patriotic, but I'm gonna say France or Austria. For me, it's definitely between the 2. I never believed into a French victory. Even for Barbara Pravi, I wasn't behind that one. Yes, and for Slimane, I never see him winning. actually Eurovision, and this is the first time since I listened to the song for the first time that I really believe in our chance of victory with this one. And really, I'm kind of not sure when I'm saying that, but I really trust the team actually, which is working with Luan. Yes, and but there is also Austria, which is a threat for us. But I'm still divided about Austria sometimes, but I see the appeal of him being like one of the potential winner. Yep.
Sean,
After the last 2 years, I have promised myself to never believe that my favorite could win Eurovision. And even though my favorite is Albania, which I never believed is going to win Eurovision anyway, I really want Finland to win Eurovision. Nokia Arena is great. Tampere, I'll show you around. The food sucks, but I'll cook for you. So I like, part of me really doesn't want to get myself into the belief that the country I want to see winning is going to win, because I was really disappointed Croatia didn't win last year. But I do see a path. I really do see a path for Erika Wigman. And Finland, I think right now no country deserves to win Eurovision more than Finland. The momentum they have solidly gotten on since 2021 is the most consistent momentum I've seen since that time. But I think
it is definitely coming for Finland sooner or later.
Please. And can we do it before Eurovision goes back to Helsinki? Like, can we do it in Tampere before Helsinki Arena is available again? So, I promise you, Tampere is a place to see. I think Finland's biggest threat is probably Austria right now, because I do see the juries reacting to one another on their group chat that they're all going to vote for Austria. I do see that. You're going to vote for Austria? Okay, I'm going to do that as well. So if you get bullied, I get bullied. But if you don't get bullied, I don't get bullied either. I feel like there's a safety to voting for Austria. It could be Sweden. I just have a hunch that it won't be Sweden. But France is also in there. But for the purposes of this conversation, I'm going to say Austria versus Finland.
I think you didn't see Tommy Cash's first music video because it already said he's the winner. I'm not sure where's the confusion. In any case, he's not winning. He's not winning the televote. He's not winning the jury vote. He will do good if he even finishes in the top 10.
He could come top 3 in the televote.
With Finland and Sweden, for example, there as a competition, I don't see it. I don't see it.
But you always think the worst for Estonia. You thought you weren't going to qualify last year.
I was afraid, especially after Latvia qualified. And I mean, Viis Miinusten Puulup themselves said that when they heard Latvia, they were like, okay, let's go home. We're not qualifying. So
that's why I'm here next to you. So I can always tell you, your country's going to be fine.
I hope so. But in all seriousness, I think it is between Austria and Sweden. Austria would be the safer bet, in my opinion, because it has the jury vote almost in the bag. Plus, there is public appeal, and it's fighting Sweden for the first position in many different polls for the favorites. But Sweden could surprise with the jury vote, and I would say personally that it is in their bag. The televote is in their bag. I don't see another televote winner. Finland, I think, is in the mix and will be top 5, but perhaps not a victory. So, with that being said, it has to be either Sweden or Austria. But before we finish,
quick question.
We have had, yes?
Would you guys think Austria is a winner if the betting gods, like if we never saw the betting gods, and we don't know what the betting gods look like, do you think Austria would still be up there?
No.
I feel like it's very pumped up by the betting
I
gods.
think it's up there for a reason, though, and many people love it.
Yes, but I feel like we all think it's gonna win because of where it went on the betting gods. It helps our prediction. If it didn't,
I felt the exact same way listening to Austria this year that I did Switzerland last year.
Ooh.
And the feeling was?
Hard to describe, but it was like, okay, this could win. You know when you haven't heard all the songs and you're waiting for something better to come along, but you're like, this one I'm bookmarking in my head. That's the exact same way I felt. I bookmarked it as a winner when it came out, and while it's not my favorite, I haven't been able to shift it from that position since.
Well, that is what we think, but I would say an equally important question that we've been asked as well, to end this video on a positive note for everyone. Our winner. We matter as well. So, now, I don't want to start with Jude again, so I will go in reverse order. For me, it has to be Sweden. I'm sorry. It's just, it is so fun, and I smile every time that I listen to it. It would be an incredible victory, and I think in this case, even Finns would be happy.
even Zelmerlov's ex-wife would be happy.
Let's give Mon some space and some time to think things over and to heal. It's been a rough week and a rough few weeks for him.
The revolution has begun.
Yeah, but I love Sweden. But one song that gave me a potential winner vibe was Finland, so I'm absolutely rooting for Erika as well. Sean, who is your favorite?
Croatia.
Skip
Albania.
the jokes. Who is your favorite?
Albania. The arm. Consistent since Christmas. That's the theme of the song for me. Consistent since Christmas. Yeah, anyone who knows me knows that I am here for the ethnic. I'm here for the native tongues. And I'm here for the original, and I feel like I started this live stream saying that this year particularly lacks originality. And I think that Albania is the most original song, the most innovative, the healthiest song for the evolution of the contest. And I really, really, really need this at least in the top 10, but truly in the top 5. But I'll be happy with the top 10. Yeah.
Max, is it France or someone else?
I would say, based on how much I'm listening and reacting for the first impression to a song, it's Albania for me, definitely. Yes. It's not, even if I want to say France, I have like something with Albania since the beginning, and I never listened to an Albanian song so many times actually. And I love the artist, I love the chemistry, and I love the story behind that. And yes, I'm falling in love with Albania since the beginning. So, and it will be great for the contest to have the first win for from a new country, you know, from Albania. It could be cool. So if I could root for Albania, I would go for Albania. But I'm still keeping France in my head, of course, but I will be so okay with Albania. Even if it's between Albania and France in the end, I will be okay for Albania win, definitely.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Eurovision in Tirana.
It would definitely be much cheaper than staying in countries starting with S and W for sure. Jude.
For people who know me,
Your
this
number
zero
one.
surprise. Zero surprise. It's Germany. I am obsessed. Max knows this. I am actually obsessed with that song. And Aborntina in general, I have listened, like, since I heard the song Baller for the first time, I have listened to them for 27 hours.
Wow.
Oh God.
I wonder what your
like,
Spotify Wrapped is gonna look like.
Currently, if you really want to know, in 2025, my top artist is Steen from the Netherlands. You know, but Aborntina are second. So, you know,
I like the comment.
German language.
I like the comment from Rebecca Ed. Albania and Greece are in my top 3. Girl has taste. Subscribe,
But
Rebecca.
she also did say that even they would be happy for a sauna victory. Anyhow, this is what we think, this is what we predicted, this is what we hope for. At least over 50 days still remaining until Eurovision is finally here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love this comment, obviously, and seeing how many of you were here today, this late Tuesday evening. Not even in my wildest dreams. So thank you all. Shaun, of course, is the veteran in live streams. I hosted my first. Jude is not even posting videos anymore. Please come back.
I might.
And Max, it's your debut. So I think it went rather well indeed. Thank you all. We will be back at some point. I am certain. We'll see in what panel, but definitely. Thank you, Shaun. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, everyone who was watching this video.
Thank you for the invite.
Kolme.
If you go.
No.
You ruined the countdown. Thank you so much. Thank you. Kiitos kaikille. 1, 2, 3. We are out.